Hey yo, welcome back to my industrial world. As you can see, the command block core is growing by the day. So let's just give you the once around. Don't want to kind of get too close to the signs yet and give away everything that it does, but yeah, so ultimately this will be like a compacted core that you can take around to various places in Minecraft and do all your various things with it. So you saw from the title of the video, we are discussing tunnel bores, tunnel bores. Let's just make sure you don't sneak a peek at any of the other signs. So instructions are fairly simple: name an armor stand, tunnel bore, and direction. So tunnel bore north, tunnel bore south, tunnel bore east, etc. And as you can see, there's the 4 blocks for each cardinal direction, and they do go quite high into the core. So what we're going to need to give to pay arm stand sneaky. Shut the door. Don't leave nothing away. I will need about $2 grand. So there you go. Now I've got 2,000 grand. Now remember, 2,000 grand? 2 grand. Now remember, this is XboxOne. It says right up at the top, XboxOne. And yeah, working cash system. Does take a lot of command blocks to run this, not gonna lie. Does take quite a few, and down here too. But I think you'll agree the effect is worth it. So if we go in here, you've got ourselves a nice little shop. Now everything is in the Great British Pounds, because obviously I live in England, so of course it's in Great British Pounds. So this is like the Redstone boutique. So you got your sticky pistons, your observers, your daylight sensors, brewing stands, all kind of priced reflecting the materials that you're going to have to go to get. So if we go ahead and buy some name tags, there you go, I got 2 name tags, and get another 2 name tags, sweet. So now I've got 4 name tags. Let's go and get on with the demonstration. So one of the things I've been trying to do, obviously, is bring the functionality of Tekkit into Minecraft. And 2 of the main things that I liked in Tekkit were the mining turtles and the quarries. Now, as you can see, I've already perfected the quarry from the last tutorial video. So there is your living proof that I've been mining up this world quite considerably, to the point where I've had to set up a factory to deal with all the resources. On with the point of the show, the tunnel bore. So what we're going to need to do, first of all, there's an anvil already here, handy. Right, so let's grab one of these name tags, and we will name it tunnel bore north. Okay, now this is designed to be done in survival mode, so that's why the shop sells name tags, because obviously you will need a lot of these, because every time you use one up in survival mode, it gets used up. So tunnel bore east, and we are good to go. So okay, so let's go and bore us we'll get an armor stand out, and as you can see from our coordinates, this is the north-south, where the z-axis, if you will. So it's going down, no, it's going up, we're going south, it's going down, we're going up. This guy needs to have south. And there you go. Off he goes. Now he puts a little walkway down ahead of him, so that if he encounters an empty space below him, he's not just going to drop down, because obviously armor stands are affected by gravity. So he's just going to go steadily in that direction. And now what we can do is we can change his direction by clicking on him with another one of these. So there you go. And he will delete the redstone torch as he goes, so you don't get any extra resources. When you break him, you will get the piston and the redstone torch back, but you know, name tags cost a lot, so you should really get something back. So he's just going to keep going now until we call him west, and then he's going to go back this way. And you can use this to dig tunnels in all kinds of different directions. Now obviously in survival mode you won't have the ability to. So now if I were to name him South, there we go, South. See how I lost the name tag? Oh god, he's encountered water, but he's still going like a trooper. He's just spitting out all the redstone torches. Oh, right, buddy. Oh, he's going for it. He don't give a shit. But yeah, so onto the code. how does this thing work? So this is tunnel bore west. So what it does is it asks for, it executes an entity named tunnel bore west. So it's going to look for an entity called tunnel bore west. That's why we name them with the name tags. It's then going to take its position relative, so just 3 tildes, no coordinates, and it's going to fill from 1 block, no blocks high, 1 block, to the same place, 2 blocks high, and 2 blocks ahead of it, and it will replace that with air. So if I were to replace air, for example, with dirt. Oh god, no, stop! Oh god, I stopped him just in time. But yeah, you can see the area that he fills ahead of him is that, essentially, with, you know, it's that shape there. That's what he'll dig out ahead of him like that. So we'll put that back to air for now. And then if we want them to drop the blocks they mine, we just add destroy. So now if we go over to here, where you can see I've done some successful test runs, give him a name. And now, because it's on repeat, you can see how much faster it's going. And he's dropping all of those lovely juicy blocks. And now, with no redstone to brick him, we'll be able to see how far he can get. And he just blasts through gravel now, because ain't nothing stopping this fella. God, I can barely keep up. And there we go. That's about your limit for as far as things can go from the command blocks. And all these lovely resources. That's the digging command. So that's how it digs the tunnel. Now what we need to do next is make sure that below it is a stone block, because we don't want it to get affected by gravity. So we need to make sure that below it is a stone block. So what we're going to do is we're going to execute at tunnel bore west again. Remember, you'll have to do all these sequences of command blocks for each individual cardinal direction. So there you go, east, west, south, and the north one is obviously on the opposite corner. So we're digging the tunnel. We're setting the block immediately below it. So at the tunnel bore west relative to position, that's those 3 tildes. We're going to set block, and we want it to be the middle coordinate, because that's our up and down and our y coordinate. So we're going to do -1, so it's the block below it, and we're going to set it as stone. The 0 is just the default. What do we want to do next? Well, we want to make sure that the block ahead of it is also stone, so that as it gets pushed forward by the piston, it doesn't fall down as it comes off its same block. So exact same code, only this time we also add a -1 in the x-axis, because this is the west, so we're going east to west, and the west direction is negative along the x-axis. Obviously east is the same thing, but it's positive on that axis, see? And then north and south, same thing, only it'd be this one would be blank, and the final one would be there we go, the final it swaps to the final digit. So it's the first digit there, it's the final digit there, and that's your z-axis for north. So we've set our 2 stone blocks. Now what we need to do is propel the tunnel bore again along that axis. So we're going west, which means we want to set this piston to the east of the armor stand, and obviously we're using the set block command again, and we're going to make sure the piston is facing towards it. So we need the orientation of the piston to be 5 this time, so it will face from east to west, because obviously we want it to push in the westerly direction. And then you would do the same thing for the other ones, but as I say, in the relative cardinal direction. So instead of in the first one, the east-west axis, we're going in the north-south axis, and so negative here, because north would be positive. So we want, south would be positive on this axis, so we want to go 1 behind it negatively to the north, and then again the piston orientation is set relatively. So as long as you get these coordinates in the right places, you can then just experiment. That's what I did with the number at the end, so you get a piston facing the right way. I think it's 0 to 5, representing the 6 sides of it. So that will put a piston behind us. Now we need to propel ourselves along, so we're going to have a redstone torch 2 this time. So the piston was 1 block behind, Now the redstone torch is going to be 2 blocks behind, because obviously it needs to be behind the piston. What we also need to do is make sure that we bore out the area behind us as we go forward. So as it moves forward, it's going to delete the block behind the redstone torch. Because otherwise, if we deleted the block the redstone torch was on, the contraption wouldn't get powered. So we want to delete the block behind. So as it places the next torch as it moves forward, it deletes the previous one. Because that way, you don't get an infinite supply of redstone torches, unless apparently you seem to go through water. So, tunnel bore is digging that area I just demonstrated with you with the dirt. Digging that size block area out ahead of it. And it's going to drop the blocks. Next, it's going to set itself a block below it, a block ahead of it. It's going to pop down a piston. It's going to pop down a redstone torch. And then as it moves, it erases everything behind it. Pretty straightforward. Name him West. And off he goes. Now, obviously to stop him, you break him or rename him something else. And that is essentially it. If you want to grab screenshots of the code, I'll put this back to Impulse and needs redstone, because I find it much better to have redstone clocks to power these things than having too many on always active. So here is the code for the tunnel bore north. That's the first stage you will need. So if you want to go grab a screenshot of that. Then you've got the north set block. So grab a screenshot of that. Then we've got the second set block. So grab a screenshot of that. Then we have the piston and its orientation, number 3. So if you want to grab a screenshot of that. Then we have the redstone torch. If you want to grab a screenshot of that. And then we have an alternate way of erasing what happens behind it. This one is using the fill command. And as you saw from this one, it's using a set block command. So the north ones and the south ones are going to be exactly the same, except you swap the values. So for the south one here, it's probably easy to demonstrate. There we go, on the set block. So for the south one here, that's the wrong one. For the south one here, you have 1 is going to be where the stone goes ahead of it. So to do the north one for that stone is relatively simple. You just swap it for a negative. So now that I've showed you the north column and I've showed you the west column, you should be able to easily recreate on your own the east and south variants. Remember, you'll need a redstone clock to run it. If you want it to run infinitely, just set the bottom block to always active and repeat. Sorry. Just remember, when you do this fill command, if you want it to drop the blocks, add destroy to the end. And it is that simple, lads and lasses, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that little look at how to create a tunnel bore on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. If you did, I do hope you like and subscribe, because I do have a lot of juicy stuff. We've got quarries, wood farms, auto planters, block breakers, shopkeepers. It's going to be amazing. So, like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.